The beautiful necessaries, traditions of duality in African American quilts. All quilts serve the eye and the hand. They're both beautiful and useful. My own maternal grandmother, Pearl Miller Higgins, was a plain, everyday seamstress in the 20th century. She was a professional cook who worked for wealthy Georgetowners. Her stores of bedding included patched and repaired blankets, coverlets, and quilts composed of leftover fabric of all kinds. This is where my fascination with wonderfully evocative everyday quilts began. 18th and 19th century urban centers like Washington, D.C.'s Georgetown neighborhood were markets for artisan-produced finished textiles. That is, quilts, counterpanes, dresses, shirts, pants, coats, uniforms, and table linens. The Coates family, the protagonists of Stand the Storm, are placed in an urban setting, mid-19th century Washington, D.C., specifically in Georgetown, to illustrate the complexity of the slave system. Before emancipation and before large-scale industrialization of textile production, slave laborers were integral to the process of textile production from seedling to finished goods and after. The characters of Stand the Storm are placed at the end of the chain of production specifically so that they can exert creative control of their work. For me, then, creative control of the finished garments becomes a metaphor for the Coates' self-emancipation. I chose a profession for them that is introspective as well as social, offering occupation, contemplation, and social interaction. The quilts that expressed these ideas most, for me, were those made by the legendary Harriet Powers. In looking at the quilt produced by an enslaved person, I see it and know that it was produced by an intelligent, creative, diligent individual who was possessed of good eyesight and deft fingers. So, to see this end product is to understand and appreciate the genius of the quilt maker. This, above all, is reason to document and pursue information about objects produced by enslaved artisans. We can treat them as historical artifacts of the people who made them, and as windows into the inner life of their producers. As a writer, that is where I want to be, in the mind of the character, the enslaved individual.